Welcome to the Photography Opinion Podcast. We discuss all things photo, video, and camera related. I'm Ben Lucas.
And I'm Stuart Marlantis.
And this is Photo Op. Hello, podcast listeners. We are coming to you with a photo news segment today. Thanks for your patience. Last week, we pretty much all melted in the sun. It was 110 degrees. F that. So we are back. We hope you're all staying safe out there during the heat wave last week. And so, yeah, we're just going to bring you a new segment. There are some interesting things that have happened over the past couple of weeks, and we thought we will catch up the photography community on everything.
Exactly. Yeah, we've actually kind of talked about doing this for a while. So this is a little bit of a test, so behind the scenes information for you there. We'll see how this works out. Maybe this will be more of a regular thing. Who knows?
Yeah, really so if you want us to do more of these, here's what you have to do. Regardless of whether you are listening to this in podcast form or on the YouTube channel, go to the YouTube channel and just click like on the video. You don't even have to watch it. But if you like this segment in podcast form, we will link to that. Hit like, let us know that you actually want more new segments, and we'll do more new segments. Otherwise, if you don't like this, that's fine. We probably won't do too many of these. We want to do things that you actually like and care about.
For sure.
And with that out of the way, let's jump into our first news segment thing. So the first one is when you are flying drone, don't be a dumbass. That's pretty much the first one. So a drone was flying illegally over protected wetlands, and it crashed in Huntington Beach, California, and a bunch of birds thought that it was a predator, and they all scattered during mating season, and an estimated 1,500 eggs were left abandoned on Huntington Beach that will not be taken care of or cared for by the parents that thought that they were going to die if they stayed. So thanks a lot, dumbass drone operator, for ruining it for everyone. No one has come forward to claim the drone because, of course, they haven't.
Yeah, this is one of those things that's like you are. This is why we're getting so much regulation and why we're getting so much attention on drones that didn't happen before.
It's your fault.
People
it
just
is your
keep doing
fault.
Stupid stuff. Like, just stay away from animals. Don't be stupid around people. Come on. Like, this is basic stuff. How many times do we need to keep doing this? And now this affects a huge amount of wildlife. And it's just, man, it's not okay. Let's stop doing this, please.
So that's the end of that story, but we do have a related one.
So the FAA is hoping to combat some of this idiocy by enacting a test called the Trust Test, which stands for the Recreational UAS Safety Test. This is an exam you have to take. Yes, for recreational purposes.
Recreational UAS. So they that acronym makes no sense to me.
Yeah. The Recreational UAS Safety Test Trust.
Oh, okay. Because I usually don't start with the.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I'm like, wait, no. So it's like there's a T in rec. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, guess what? Yeah, the acronym is
Trust
bad,
test,
and the test is bad. I took it already. I took it, I think, like the first day that it was available. And you literally can't fail, so it's not particularly useful for regulatory purposes.
Oh dear!
Because if you take it, one, I literally did no studying, so that was part of my test of this test. Is like, how hard is it actually? I'm relatively familiar with drone stuff, but I was like, maybe they'll ask some tricky questions or have something that's actually takes some thought. I took it going in completely blind, and I literally got every single question right the first time, like perfect 100% through the first way through. So it's extremely easy. One, just use like basic common sense, although to be fair, that's lacking among a lot of people, unfortunately.
That is lacking.
But two, you literally can't fail it. So I learned later that even if I had gotten a question wrong, it will just make you retake a short section of that test, and you can just basically retake it by brute force until you pass everything.
Get it
right. So yeah, it is totally useless. It kind of reminds me of the boater's card tests, but like even easier, like dramatically easier and shorter. At least it's free, I suppose, but it's going to do nothing to really combat these problems, and people will just ignore it, right? Because you're supposed to, yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, however, there's a very important part of this news story. Whether so if you fly commercially, if people are hiring you to use your drone, you're technically supposed to have a drone pilot license, which I've been like I've had on my bucket list to study and do. I've just pretty much flown my drone recreationally up till now.
Yeah.
I keep bugging you to let's study and actually do that, but I haven't yet because, life. I'm running a Kickstarter right now with a pinup calendar, galacticpinups.com. Go get it right now. That's why I'm not getting my drone license. Anyway.
Eventually.
Eventually, but this test is required for every drone user regardless of your commercial or recreational status. So even if you just got it for Christmas and you're having fun messing around with your friends and you are not a professional, you must take this test. That is the new rule.
Yeah, so this is an attempt, along with the registration program that the FAA has implemented to reduce some of these issues. That is one of the things that, again, I wish there was some sort of mechanism that would prevent these problems that wouldn't require like extreme overreach. But the issue is, like if these people had followed the rules and had put the identifier on the outside of their drone like you're supposed to, even as a recreational flyer, they would have been able to use that to reference them and find out who this is. But you can just buy the drone, ignore the test, ignore putting identifier on it. You're likely not going to get caught, and then you can do stuff like this and get away with it completely. So it's unfortunate because I don't want regulation to be so extreme that like I have to register with some government body before
you want to take it up.
Well, before you can even buy one, right? Like that's the next step, is like a manufacturer has to have like a license that you're attached to before you can even buy the drone, and that would be insane from an overreach perspective, but it's almost like that's where we're heading because people don't stop doing stupid stuff. So
Stuart, not to get all political, but I foresee a future where it's easier to buy a gun than it is a photography drone.
Maybe. It's actually literally easier to operate commercially as a paraglider where you're flying yourself. It requires no license. You can fly yourself. You can do serious damage with the paraglider. Even a powered paraglider technically requires no license. It literally requires more licensing to operate a drone commercially than to fly a human being with a camera. Real talk.
Cool.
So anyway, take it anyway. You should do it. You should follow the rules.
There's a link down in the description. Wherever you're listening to this, go seriously, like either pause the podcast or click the link as soon as you're done. Go take it, because if you have a drone, this is 100% mandatory. Not that anyone will be checking up on you. Dang it, I shouldn't have said that part. But
you literally can't fail it, so take it.
Go take it. So that's all right. Fun.
Drones.
What else we have?
Next is a story that kind of broke because people were losing tons of their data. It turns out the Western Digital MyBook Live product line, which is essentially a really cheap network attached storage, like an external hard drive, but you can plug it in your network and access it remotely. Turns out there was a 0-day exploit, which basically means an exploit that was unknown to the manufacturer that allowed for them to be remotely wiped. So suddenly people were just losing all their data. And I know people have bought these to store photo and video content on. So if you haven't been wiped yet and you're using a Western Digital MyBook Live, please disconnect it from the internet now, immediately. And this is a good reminder that I believe Western Digital has either patched this or is working on a patch. Still, you should double check and make sure that everything's okay. But yeah, make sure that your data is not going to be wiped. And if you had a good backup, even if your data was wiped, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So please back up your data. Yeah. We say this a
Hey,
lot.
so this is relevant to data backup. If you're thinking, hey, how do I back up my data? We use Backblaze. Also, we have talked about this before on both my personal YouTube channel and on the podcast. But if you go click the link, then it gives me some free months of Backblaze, and you get some free months of Backblaze. So go get yourself an extra little freebie by using the link down in the description. It doesn't help the podcast, but it gives me like $3 essentially. Like that's Backblaze is super cheap. It's super cheap. It's real good. So yeah, go get backed up. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. And if you don't like Backblaze, fine. Just back up your data, please. Just
back up anywhere.
Whatever.
We're just saying that's the one we use, so that's the one I like.
We really like it. Highly recommended. But even if you're like, no Backblaze, fine. Just back it up somewhere.
Back it up somewhere. That's true. If you're watching this on YouTube, right behind my head, right there is a NAS Synology. So that's another backup option if you don't want cloud computing, just anything like that. There's a bunch of different brands and stuff.
Options.
That's just the one I picked. But yes, back up your data. Next up, Instagram, very popular for mobile phone users, but if you use it on the computer, I've found that the interface is super clunky and awful and terrible. So I don't really use it on the desktop, but I still wish I could publish from the desktop, because what ends up happening is there's one photo that I actually just finished today. It took me 4 hours to shoot it, took me 3 days to retouch it, and I will shortly be posting it on Instagram. But to post it on Instagram, I have to put it in Dropbox, load it onto my phone, and then download it from Dropbox onto my phone, and then load it up on Instagram. It's a whole thing, and I'm lazy, and that's not cool. But guess what? They're rolling out desktop uploads. Yay! Yep.
Yeah.
So there have previously been like third-party ways where you can use like BlueStack and emulators to be able to do that. So people have been doing it, but it's been clunky. So they're rolling out native uploading. Yay!
Yeah, it might not hit your account right now because it is actively rolling out. Not everybody has it yet, but it is coming. So yeah, if you use Instagram a lot on desktop, you got a new way to upload your photos. Although maybe you won't want to upload your photos because, according to the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. They're going to be pivoting into entertainment, video, and shopping, probably to compete with TikTok.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I see, Stuart. I know you don't care about Instagram, but you also have a full-time job. I have 3 Instagrams. So this is going to be fabulous functionality. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my 3 Instagrams because self-promotion. Okay, so first one, Nom Creative. Same thing that if you're watching this on YouTube, that's where it is, that we plug at the end of literally every single episode. The second one is actually my cosplay photo booth. That is Triple Click Photo. So if you are at a Comic-Con in the Pacific Northwest, not Emerald City because they won't let me in yet, tell your local Emerald City rep that you want to see me there. But pretty much any other convention in the Pacific Northwest, you will see a photo booth there that is Triple Click Photo, where you get some really cool cosplay photos. And number 3 is Intimate Portraits by Ben. That is my boudoir channel because I posted one boudoir photo on my main account, and immediately my sister-in-law was like, "Hey, dude, I have kids, and like, can we not? That's not really what I wanted to see." I'm like, fair. So if you want to follow my boudoir photography, that has its own channel, which it's been a little slow, but COVID, of course it has.
Yeah. I want to say, although I'm not like really an Instagram user and I don't really care that much, I feel like this is the opposite direction of what they should be doing. I'm less interested in Instagram the more they shift away from being a good photo service. And this is like even more,
that is very true,
like upsetting to me. I mean, not upsetting, that's like a strong word for something I don't care that much about ultimately, but it is an interesting platform. There are a lot of good things about it, but the more it tries to compete,
own identity for sure.
Well, I feel like it used to more. Like they've been trying to compete with Snapchat, they've been trying to compete with TikTok, and it's like, you know what? Maybe just focus on being a good photo sharing service. That's still valuable. Like,
keep your core
Instagram.
Audience. No.
Yeah.
I completely agree. There's something to be said for being core to what you do and doing that one thing rather than trying to copy. Because what ends up happening is you have like 8 different social media apps that all do the exact same thing, and I don't want to manage that many.
And I swear this is not going to have the effect that they think it's going to have. Like, I think they will get more users by focusing on their core competencies. If this announcement was instead, hey, we're going to go back to basics and focus on being a good photo sharing app first, I would be like, hey, maybe I'll use Instagram more again. Like, that would draw me in. I feel like it would draw other people in too, but maybe I'm just kidding myself. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next up, Nvidia has a fun little piece of software that is in beta right now. So it is called Nvidia Canvas. So what it does is it basically has an interface that looks like Microsoft Paint. You draw a terrible, terrible finger drawing in this interface, and it magically makes mountains and rivers and landscapes and futuristic cyborg towers or whatever. I'm not sure. Basically, what it does is it uses AI, and you finger paint your thing, and it's just like, oh, you want a mountain there? Great, I'm gonna put a mountain there. You're like, cool, I want a river here, and it's like, cool, I'll put a river here. And then so you see on one half of the screen your terrible finger painting, and on the other half of the screen you just see this kind of thing coming to life. Which I am clearly a creative artistic person because, you know, I'm a photographer and I do this really amazing thing, and whenever we talk about these kind of things, you're the tech, I'm the artist, right? But I suck at art. I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't do anything. Put a camera in my hands and I'm technically competent. But any of those other things are let's see, I got an okay grade when I did figure drawing, but my teacher was like, oh, you try so hard. That was like, that was the biggest compliment I got in that class. Not that I was good, that I tried hard. So this has some really interesting possibilities.
Yeah, this could be cool. My mind, immediately went to photo composites, that you could generate either chunks or maybe even entire backdrops for photo composites. I think that potentially is going to be really powerful. It literally just came out, so maybe we'll have an update or something if we're able to test this out. I think you have to have NVIDIA GPUs. Not on the machine that I'm recording this on, but maybe I'll find a place where I can test this. But it is pretty intriguing. Like, there's some interesting opportunities here. So maybe we'll kick the tires on it a little bit and see how well AI is able to generate landscapes from finger paint.
I think my laptop has it. I don't know. We'll give it a try and get back to you if we can. But it looks interesting. I'm doing some composites right now that are crazy that I would love to have something like this for. So this is cool, and if we can, it's something that we'll play with. So yeah, there you go.
And one last story. So there has been kind of a scramble as Google has basically is closing the door on free photo uploads to Google Photos, which a lot of people just used as, a way to share. I mean, the free photo tier wasn't like super useful from a quality standpoint, but it was nice just to share, and it didn't cost anything. Well, Google is closing that door, and so other services are kind of posturing to see if maybe they'll be the alternative to Google Photos or try to win over some users from that exodus. And one of those is OneDrive, which traditionally is more just a normal cloud file storage from Microsoft, but they are adding basic photo editing tools to it, which is just like cropping and rotating and some basic,
they have some like basic brightness contrast stuff where if you're a photographer, you probably shouldn't be messing with that in a OneDrive app.
So it's like, that's cool for casual users, but why wouldn't you just use a real app for it? And then or
Snapseed, which is way more powerful. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on your phone anyway,
it's interesting
use
though.
That. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. So maybe that's something to look out for if you want basic features and you're looking for another cloud service to go to instead of Google Photos. That might be an option. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, neat. we brought you 5.5, 6 stories here from in the news from the past couple of weeks. We do hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, there is one way to tell us that you liked this episode, and that is to go click the YouTube link. Even if you don't watch it, it will bring you to this exact episode on YouTube, or unless you're already on YouTube, click the like button. When you click the like button on YouTube, that will directly tell us, because otherwise analytics get sketchy and muddled at best, depending on which platform you're listening to. We have it as like a download, but that like, I don't know, you subscribed, that means you downloaded it, but did you actually like it? So go click the like button, and that will tell us you want to hear more in the news segments, but we do hope you enjoyed that. There are also other links down there to the drone test that is required and the Backblaze backup service. So go check out the description for all of those things, and we will come back at you with a fun conversation in next week's episode.
Please unplug your Western Digital My Book Lives, and we will see you next time.
Unplug it right now. If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, you can email us at hello@photo-op.show.
Watch us on Ben's YouTube channel at NomCreative.
As in Om Nom Nom.
Share this with a friend, and you can listen to Photo Op anywhere podcasts are sold.
Or download it. 'Cause it's free.